everyone, welcome to Out of the Box Room, where I'm joined by travel industry professionals to talk and to share experiences, both personal and professional, straight out of my box room turned into an office. Please don't forget to like, to share, and most important, to come back for more. My guest today is Andrew Nunes, travel industry sales and marketing professional waiting for an opportunity. Good morning, Andy, and welcome to my box room. Andy, would you like to give a brief introduction for our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, first of all, Patricia, and thank you for having me here. My name is Andrew Nunes. People call me Andy or Ando sometimes, and I've been in the travel industry for about 30 years, and been working for various airlines from Far Eastern carriers to Middle Eastern carriers, Qatar Airways, Oman Air, Garuda, Sri Lankan Airlines. And I've been in sales and marketing management position for about 15 years. So I believe I have a wealth of experience in the industry, and I'm very passionate about it, and absolutely love all the aspects of the industry.
Well, indeed, you do have a wealth of experience, because I've known you for a long time and we always cooperated in very nice manners. But Andy, you were working for, Taiwanese, but with China Airlines back in 2020. And when all the COVID news were coming up and they were unfolding, how was it for you, like earlier on? Did you have any inkling that this was going to happen, or the global extent to it?
I think very few people, apart from the experts, knew how bad this could be. But we knew something is happening, but we don't really understand fully to what extent it is. I remember back at the business travel show, the first three people I saw were from Alitalia, I think your former colleagues. And at that time, the news was in Italy, there seems to be a lot of stories of an outbreak. And those were the three first guys I hugged at the business travel show. And at that time, like many people, I had no idea just how serious this was. And I love those guys, but maybe next time I would not hug them, because we haven't been able to hug anybody pretty much since. Yeah, that was where it started. And from then, China Airlines, which is, as you said, a Taiwanese national carrier, slightly different to mainland China, and they have their own political discourse. But the information was Taiwan has dealt with SARS previously. The country is well prepared to handling such a situation of an outbreak. They've had a pandemic or an epidemic even. And for us, it was, just carry on with your work. The biggest concerns we had actually at that time was the fires in Australia, because as one stop to Australia was one of our biggest selling points. Non-stop flights to Taiwan, then non-stop flights from Taiwan to Australia. So actually bushfires were probably the biggest thing, which was then overshadowed by how strong this coronavirus problem was going to be. And at that time, our jobs, or I was told, there's nothing to worry about, the jobs are fine. Then suddenly, I think it was in March last year, I was told you need to go on to furlough for a month.
So it was not business as usual after all?
After that, it was no longer business as usual. In fact, we've always been saying for the last 2 or 3 years, the world is changing so fast, and on top of everything, we get this coronavirus, which literally scatters every plan or every dream that anyone could have in that time. And you wonder what direction the future will take us on. So I think I did the furlough for 1 month. At the end of the month, I was told, look, you're going to be up for redundancy. This was after being told, don't worry. But then 1 month later, you're told, actually, you're up for redundancy.
And that, I believe, coincided as well with your birthday.
Yeah, I mean, what a surprise. I mean,
shocking, very sad.
Yeah, you get hit in many ways in life, and you obviously have to carry on and just pick yourself up. But it was a bit of a whack. It was not just me. Lots of people experience the same sort of thing and wonder, you know, literally, it can be, where is your next meal coming from? How are you going to pay your mortgage if, for example, you're already earning 80% of your salary? So there's you know, you're already at a loss from where you were, but you're still surviving. To, well, you're not going to be even getting that in the near future. So your mind is in as much a spin as the world is. And if you have a family like I do, as many people do, you know, these are real stressful times for anybody. And I found that period very difficult. But again, I guess, I hope from good parents, they teach you have to keep going, whatever happens. We don't give up, but we have to keep pushing forward. So by the end of August, towards the end of August, was my closing date within the industry, and been made redundant. But I managed to secure a job after sending out hundreds of CVs. Literally, I was talking to other people in the industry who were doing the same thing. But in a world where the job market is imploding, not just in this country, but around the world, you know, you're sending CVs to people you don't even know if they're working there anymore. They're all probably at home, but whether they're in their jobs, you don't know. But you still send the CVs to try and get yourself some a foothold back in the workplace, where you can start to, you know, pay your mortgage and feed your families and do things. But yeah, very difficult time. But I did manage to secure something at the back end of August last year, which tied me over is not necessarily the right word, because it doesn't tide me over, but it stops me from drowning. And that's I think for many families, the main thing is to keep your head above the water. And at that moment in time, it doesn't matter how much experience you have or where you went to school or university. Everyone's in a situation where you have to protect at least what you have the best way you can. And so, yeah, I've taken a job.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So, Andy, you said you sent about 100 applications, and has anyone come back to you? Because I was speaking to some of my colleagues that, unfortunately, like you, industry colleagues, have lost their jobs. And unfortunately, they sent applications. They didn't even get a courtesy email to say, sorry, we're not recruiting anymore, or we filled the position. Did you receive any feedback or
Yeah, I think at the back end of last year, or in the fourth quarter of last year, it was understandable because of the way the situation was unfolding, if you didn't get an immediate response or maybe an acknowledgement, because lots of companies were suffering the same restrictions in terms of staffing numbers and being able to respond in a good time. So I almost understand at that point where you don't get a reply, although it would be nice if you did. I mean, I did get some replies. It's not to say no one replied. Got lots of thank yous but no's, and lots of non-replies at all. But even recently, Patricia, I've applied to a couple of companies in the travel market where they've advertised positions, and I've not got a reply from them. And I know my qualities and what my skills are.
Absolutely.
and what they were looking for, and I've seen the match, and so very surprised there where companies today are not replying, because the situation has evolved. We are headed in a direction which is better than where we were 6 months ago. So I think it's time for those companies to to respond. And whilst you cannot give full feedback about what I did or what I did, just respond, because people need to know that there is someone out there. Otherwise you'll start to lose your positive feelings about the future if you're not talking to anyone. And I think in this industry of travel, we love talking to people, and at any time you feel that there is no response or it's a one-way conversation, that's the loneliest time in travel and for your future as well. So we may all have to start looking at different directions, but like I said earlier at the beginning, we're so passionate about this industry. We love it so much. The challenges, the fun parts, the parties, the hard work, the presentations, we love all of that. And so for me personally, I want to get back into that as soon as possible because I feel like I was born there.
Yeah, absolutely. You must miss it a lot. And you're right. You did say we are people's people, and also it must be very disheartening if you then trying to make an approach and trying to communicate, and you find a blank wall in front of you and you get no response. And probably it's not even out of the discourtesy. Maybe, as you said, they don't even have enough resources to reply. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think everyone deserves an answer, and you know, just at least to put your mind at rest and peace. So. Yeah, absolutely. So, what you reckon? I mean, of course, you said before it's difficult to make predictions, and I mean, I was really bad. I thought within 2 months it was all done and dusted, and look at this, it's 40 months, and we still are not able to. You know, see a way out, and hence my box room and where I spend the most of my time. You know, you did say something very important. A lot of people have lost their jobs, but these are all talents that have left the company. There has been a bleeding of talents, and very soon there will be a need for the same talents to be coming back and fulfill places. So I'm sure you'll be finding very soon something. But in the meantime, Andy, how did you get into your new industry and to your new job?
Well, someone told me of an online company that were looking, you know, they were growing in this difficult time. And I thought, my God, who can grow in this madness? But yet they were there, and their presence is strong, and they wanted new people. So you know, and they wanted people who enjoy talking to other people. They wanted people who enjoy high levels of customer service to be given. I thought, okay, great. I know I can do inside out. So yeah, I was very happy to get that opportunity in a time when there were very limited opportunities. And yeah, I've been doing that for about 8 months now. And whilst I will talk highly of it, it's not travel, it's not aviation, and so I know where I want to be, and what I want to be doing, and it's definitely back in the aviation industry, and that's where I grew up. So and you know, it's almost like a home away from your home is that industry, which we all love so much. But in addition to that, I had a friend. I don't think I told you. I had a friend who had retired from the financial services recently or last year, and he had always wanted to get into lettings and property management. And so he's just started a company doing that, and I've just started doing some web development for him as well on that, and I've also joined in his sales activities as well. So now, because we've had to find new alternatives, we started branching out into different areas, hopefully transferring some of our skills, great dealing with people, and moved into like property lettings and property sales. So that's another thing that is being run on the side, whilst I can get back into travel and start generating revenue for all my airline partners.
Well, great. It's fantastic. And you said, of course, dealing with people in different situations as they raise, in a way, made us people that work in travel good with some skills that are easily translating into other industry. And in the meantime, Andy, of course, there are a lot of people like you in the industry that are not working and they are looking for a job. And I do know that now you're doing this temporary job, waiting for something in the travel industry. Is anything that you want to tell them, just a word of reassurance or recommendation?
Yeah, well, I would like to, and thank you for asking that question, because there's so many people who are not feeling great about their situation, and they want to find the next situation which is better than the last or the current. And the only advice really to give them is stay positive, because it's your energy that is what's going to create whatever happens next for you. You're not responsible for what happened with the pandemic, but the way you respond to it in terms of your mind, because there's been a lot of talk about mental health during this time, whether it's from adults or from our children who are studying, or you know, it has a big impact on everyone. And not everyone lives in the big house where you have the big garden, so you are technically less restricted during the last year. Some people are in smaller places with limited or no access to their own personal outdoor space, and that has a big impact going forward, particularly, well, across the world, but worried about people in this country. And we have to keep talking to each other, because communication means that people are listening, and if people are listening, then somebody cares. If somebody cares, then someone's going to help. And you build the society much better and stronger like this. So the first thing, yes, stay positive. Whether you do meditation, visualization, or you draw your dreams on a sheet of paper, do those things and keep them, because those are the things that show you, give you confidence that there is a better future for you tomorrow, and things will get better. And stay away from the people who don't think, you know, people who are not helping your situation, people who don't want to be positive. You need to stay positive and remain with that level of energy, even with every application that you send. Even if you've received 100 no's, that means you're one step closer to getting the yes, because you've got rid of 100 no's. The laws of probability says there has to be a yes coming closer than where it was before. So just keep believing, really. It will come.
Well, Andrew Nunes, thank you so much for speaking to me in such a candid and sincere manner. You are, and I know you are, and many people know you are a travel professional, and I know you will get something very soon that is, you know, worth your skills and experience. But in the meantime, thank you very much for giving up your Sunday morning for me and to be here as a guest at the box room. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thanks.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.